China's initial response to the coronavirus received praise, but now with the accusations of cover-ups, crackdowns, and even forced quarantines beginning to mount, is China trying to shut down coronavirus whistleblowers? The start of criticism towards the Chinese authorities was the death of whistleblowing doctor Li Wenyang. He's one of now 2 high-profile doctors to die as a result of the outbreak. Dr. Li was working at Wuhan Central Hospital when he saw multiple instances of this coronavirus, now known officially as COVID-19 in patients. He tried to warn fellow medics over a messaging app at the end of December, telling them to wear protective clothing. Because communication is so monitored in China, the authorities soon caught up with Dr. Li. Police then made him sign a letter which accused him of making false comments that had severely disrupted the social order. In an interview with the New York Times, Dr. Li said he felt he was being wronged at the time, but he had to accept it, and that if there was more openness and transparency, it would have been a lot better. Just 1 week after Dr. Li blew the whistle, the first death from the virus was confirmed. Less than 6 weeks later, Dr. Li himself was dead from the very virus he tried to warn against. Social media is heavily censored in China, yet many went online to hail the doctor as a martyr and a hero. There's even footage of citizens blowing whistles in unison. And it wasn't just ordinary people reacting. Government officials, celebrities, and business leaders joined in. At the time, remember, millions of Chinese people were holed up inside under lockdown, and they had hours to pore over messages of outrage after Dr. Li's death. The phrase, "We want freedom of speech," began to trend on Weibo, the Twitter-like website in China, before it was censored. This image showing Dr. Li's mask with barbed wire was also shared widely. Unusually, the Communist Party bowed to this pressure. They've said they've now sent an inspection group to thoroughly investigate issues relating to Dr. Li's death, and other Chinese authorities paid their respects publicly.
国家卫生健康委表示深切哀悼，向李文亮医生的家属表示诚挚慰问。
This kind of fast response to public dissent in China is rare. The doctor who first blew the whistle about the SARS virus in 2003 has been erased from official records of the time. Citizen journalists have also been disappearing, increasing the tension between freedom of speech on the internet and China's one-party state.
李文亮医生死了。
This is businessman Fang Bing, who became well known for posting videos online of Wuhan, the city at the centre of the coronavirus outbreak. His footage appears to show relatives mourning sick and dead loved ones in a Wuhan hospital. He was campaigning for people to speak out about the realities of the virus, accusing the Chinese government of a cover-up.
大家一定要行动起来，要传播，要把真相传播出去。今天的肺炎，今天的武汉肺炎，既是天灾，也是人祸，更是人祸。
Fang Bing's account went quiet on the 7th of February. His last video was a piece of paper reading, "All citizens resist, hand power back to the people." He's one of at least 4 people reportedly detained by Chinese authorities this month. Chen Kuoshe, a lawyer who was also documenting life in Wuhan, has vanished. Friends and family said they believed he'd been forcibly quarantined. And Xu Zhuyong, who's a lawyer and activist, is also thought to have been detained. Zhu Zhangrong, a prominent academic, became the first high-profile figure to call out President Xi for his handling of the crisis. He wrote an essay called Viral Alarm: When Fury Overcomes Fear. In it, he said the spread of the virus was down to the rotten core of Chinese governance. This kind of public criticism of President Xi is not the done thing in China. Reportedly, the professor has since been placed under house arrest for days. His friends say he's been barred from social media and is now cut off from the internet. He's not the only academic to take a stand. 10 Wuhan professors signed an open letter to the government. They demanded the right to freedom of speech and asked President Xi's party to apologise and compensate whistleblowers. The coronavirus outbreak is causing Chinese citizens to challenge their government like never before. But China's response to the virus has been internationally praised, for the most part. Not like in 2003, when the SARS outbreak was hugely damaging. China were heavily criticized for withholding information about the epidemic for too long. Of course, a lot has changed since then. We can now diagnose viruses quicker, and this time transparency has been much better. The World Health Organization says China told them about this coronavirus on the 31st of December 2019. That's just one day after Dr. Li sent those warning messages to medics. Telling the World Health Organization means scientists can work together quickly to try and stop an epidemic in its tracks. They praised China's more open approach in countless press conferences.
China has taken one of the most ancient strategies for infectious disease control and rolled out probably the most ambitious and I would say agile and aggressive disease containment effort in history.
Even some of the country's most famous critics praised their efforts.
I spoke with President Xi of China, and he's working very hard on this. It's a tremendous problem, but they're very capable, and they'll get to it.
Their practical response drew admiration. China built 2 hospitals at lightning speed in Wuhan, geared to deal with the virus. One was built in 10 days, another in 12. Together, they boast 2,600 beds. But official data shows that the hospitals are running at just half their capacity. The number of beds are far outstripping the number of patients being treated. And this is where the international community's concerns lie. What is propaganda and what is truth? While scientists try to find a cure for COVID-19, the political debate rages on. The virus has now killed more than 2,000 people globally, with new infections daily. The international community has praised China's swift response to the crisis, but they're also aware of the massive economic pain the country is in, with millions of people off work and businesses not operating normally. With that economic pressure comes an urgent need to potentially downplay the threat of the virus. While China claims the number of new infections are falling, the World Health Organization says it's still too early to determine a downward trend. With a new disease, the battle for facts is tense and crucial. But now we see many Chinese people demanding better information and greater freedom of speech than an authoritarian government might allow.